I'm Tamara, and welcome to our Tam Psych Advice, where we explore MBTI in creative ways. So, everyone is always talking about that INTJs are the best at system building, and they are. But are ENFJs also good at building systems? Well, we'll find out by the end of this video. So, ENFJs like efficiency. It's important. I remember working in a large clothing store. I remember working the register and watching this guy who was supposed to be zoning, which means picking up clothes off the floor. By night's end, most of it should be done. Well, this guy did everything he could to slow the process down. He was very manipulative. Why? Because we were getting paid by the hour, and he wanted to make extra cash. Instead of grabbing a handful of clothes that needed to be hung in the same area, he would take one piece, go all the way across the gigantic room, go all the way back, and so forth. I tried my best to out-scheme him, bolted across the store like a sprinter, and hung up everything as fast as I could, while Mr. Lazy, who wanted to make extra money for doing the bare minimum, continued his slow routine. He walked like a turtle, and it was so obvious and frustrating. Even if I wasn't an ENFJ, I could see through his tactics. Bottom line, ENFJs want to do the most possible with the least amount of effort. They want to make systems more useful and maximize effectiveness. They get frustrated when people make things more difficult than they ought to be, or scheming for their own gain and not for the greater good of the whole system. A system is a set of things working together as parts of a mechanism or an interconnecting network. It's a set of principles or procedures according to which something is done, an organized framework or method. And as an ENFJ, that is super important, whether it's making your house run efficiently or making the workplace work efficiently. They really don't want to waste their precious time doing things that don't make sense. And what is the enemy of a system?
Or should we say, who? Our pesky little human friends.
Sometimes it's the lack of knowledge, sometimes it's the lack of experience, sometimes it's just figuring everything out piece by piece. There's novelty involved sometimes, and that's okay. But I, as an ENFJ, have witnessed systems being broken, stepped on, crushed, scattered for a variety of reasons, but the number one is the self-centered human. And don't get me wrong,
I love my fellow humans,
but human beings tend to be selfish by nature. Selfish or either just plain narcissistic. And you have a lot of narcissists that are in charge of systems. And sometimes that can be a phenomenal thing, which I wrote about in my book called The WORKPLACE NaRCISSiST. Some narcissists are fantastic. Like many of them have built great countries, okay? But then there are other ones that have also destroyed great countries. Let me give you an example. Hang in there with me. I'm going somewhere with this. So, what about delegators? What does it mean to delegate? Delegate means to entrust a task or responsibility to another person, typically one who is less senior than oneself. The power delegated to him must never be misused. When is delegating ever used properly, respectfully, with integrity, with fairness? What is the point of delegating? So if you are having a party and several of you are throwing it, there might be a delegator there that says, okay, everybody's got to split the task of this party. But let's take it to the workplace. As an ENFJ, I think delegating is overall a terrible idea. And here's why. I've never been a delegator. I could, but for me, delegating is when you take things, it's usually when you take your responsibilities and you split it up among everyone else. Or you've got this great idea and you take it and you split it up among everyone else. If it's your great idea, why don't you execute it? Because that's what I do. And what often happens with delegating is it shifts everyone's job. So now you're introducing burnout, which means that everyone's job effectiveness goes down, which means the effectiveness of the company goes down. Everybody has to shift because one person is usually giving their job away and breaking it up. And so now you've created something that was completely unnecessary. My philosophy is if everyone does their job and they do their job well, there's no need for delegating. It should be a very rare thing because it's often an abuse of power, or I don't want to do my job, and so rather than stress myself out, I'm going to stress everybody else with it. And it turns into this new thing that doesn't work. So now you've created something new that's broken, and you're going to have to fix that. It is the most chaotic thing. If you have difficulty managing money in your house, and so you're always borrowing money from people, you never pay them back, you tell them that you will, or you've got something that you want to do but you can't afford it, and so you promise to pay people back, and then you go on this great trip, or you do all these wonderful things, or you purchase these expensive tennis shoes and you can't afford them, then what does that create? If I can't pay my bills and I buy $1,000 pair of sneakers, what is that going to create in a system? It's going to throw the system off balance and create a ricochet effect, and then you're going to be chasing repairs, fixing what was broken, trying to replenish money again that you don't have, breaking down friendships and connections with family members. So you're creating a system of chaos even in your own home, when the first step is to go without deprivation. Deprivation can teach you a lot. It can teach you impulse control. It can teach you to press through when times are difficult. But some people don't have the ability to wait. Some people don't have the ability to press through. So ENFJs think in systems, from the smallest thing to the biggest thing. And I think it's important to acknowledge ENFJs in this area. Do they build systems like an INTJ? Absolutely not. I don't know if I have I'm just not built that way. I admire it. Check out my INTJ videos because I explain why they're so fantastic at that. I'm totally different, but systems are important if you want to thrive in life. So give me your feedback. Let me know if you agree or you disagree. And if you're an ENFJ, are there ways in which you create systems that work? I'm going to put a link to at least one of my 3 ENFJ video playlists that you can check out. I have over 150 ENFJ videos that will give you a new light on who the ENFJ is in a way that is not discussed much in MBTI world. And I think they deserve their flowers. I really do. So check those out. Check out my book, The Workplace NaRCISSiST by Tamara Hunter Zyon. It's on Amazon. It'll be in the links too. And I'll see you, my friends, on the next video. Bye, lovely people.